have assembled in Worcester, Mass. to go for a U.S. hot rod victory here in the Centrum. And right off the bat, one of the best. It's Gold Fever. Ron Smith brings his 1948 Fiat out of Schoolcraft, Michigan. He's in trouble and out of bounds. That will be an automatic disqualification for Ron Smith and Gold Fever. You know he's just absolutely disgusted. And where Ron Smith got in trouble was right at the start. The mud pit really didn't give him any problems. For some reason, the wheels really hooked and shot right to the right-hand side as soon as he left the starting line. We'll get another replay look of Gold Fever's DQ run. And see at the beginning, he shoots way over to the right-hand side of the course. And by the time he gets a good grip in the mud, he cannot get it corrected. Sailing out of bounds and into a DQ. Bad break right there for Ron Smith and Gold Fever. So the 48 Fiat is done for this round of action here on Super Tracks. Officially a disqualification. We know he'll not make the Fast Four. Rookie of the Year, Mud Patrol, Paul Schaefer out of Portage, Indiana. This is a guy who took the vehicle that Tom Martin has driven so brilliantly over the years and has been able to keep it up top. And stops it in time. A super run for Paul Schaefer and Mud Patrol. In mud racing, you go as fast as you can over 80 feet, and then you have 80 feet to stop it. He got it stopped in time in the shutdown area. On the replay, nice, smooth, and straight for Portage, Indiana's Paul Schaefer and the Mud Patrol. In his first year in that vehicle, finished 4th in U.S. Hot Rod Association points and earned the Rookie of the Year title, and he's looking awfully good today at the Centrum in Worcester. One more time on the replay for Paul Schaefer's Mud Patrol, and you see how they do it in the upper echelon of mud racing with the U.S. Hot Rod Association. A good-looking run and plenty of time to get her shut down. Paul Schaefer at 1.714. That's going to be a tough run to beat here today in Worcester. Super run for Mud Patrol. Well, Tony Ferrotti's up next at Let's Boogie. He'll bring out the Canton, Michigan-based 1927 T Roadster. And, oh, just in time. He gets it stopped with maybe about 8 inches to spare. A super run for Tony Ferrotti. Let's go to the replay and look at it again. A little bit of lift on the front wheels at the starting line. That cost him a couple of hundredths, but other than that, he really keeps a nice straight line through the mud pit and uses up virtually all of the shutdown area to keep it a legal run. There you can see that lift I was talking about. That's going to cost you a little bit as he kind of brought the nose up before he got traction in the mud. Other than that, Tony Ferrotti and Let's Boogie, probably no complaints after that run. The time, not good enough to take over the number 1 spot, but I think he's got a shot at the Fast Four today with a run of 1.801. That's Let's Boogie and Tony Ferrotti. The Chevy Blazer, Jeff Sturkin out of Holland, Michigan, brings out Devastation. The time to beat remains 1.714 for Mud Patrol. He's in trouble and on his route. The Devastation Chevrolet is on his route at the end of the Worcester Central. The U.S. Hot Rod safety officials right on the spot immediately, and they're getting inside first to see the condition of Jeff Sturkin, and indeed they're assisting him out. And the immediate word is that Jeff Sturkin is okay and he's on his feet. So that's the good news. The bad news is that Devastation is devastated. Let's watch it on the replay. Here he's in trouble. You can see how cockeyed he is in the middle of the run. Now he is out of control. And at the end of the line, over on the roof he goes. Wow, what a wild run for Jeff Sturkin out of Holland, Michigan. It's a disqualification. Red Heat, the dragster, will be up next. That's going to be a tough act to follow, but I'll tell you, Melvin Brown wants nothing to do with that type of run. He just wants a nice straight shot. And that's what he gets, a good-looking run for the Red Heat dragster and Ewington, Ohio's Melvin Brown. Kind of getting the Mud Rooster tail off the back of the Red Heat. Kicks up a little mud toward the end, locks it up at the end of the run, and gets it stopped in plenty of time. Matter of fact, may have went to the break a hair early. Let's watch it again on the side angle replay and let's see where he hit the brakes and how close he was to the finish line. Melvin Brown's red heat looking good through the mud in Massachusetts. Now he approaches the finish line. I don't know, it's right there at that finish line where he hit the brakes. May not have cost him much time. It's a good run at 1.852. Boy, he really cut it close, though, in terms of trying to keep that momentum up before he went to the brakes. You got to make the fast four, and the S-kicker of Boone's Mill, Virginia, Jeremy Finley. He's used to getting in the shootout. Let's see if he's got what it takes today. Gets it stopped just in time. Beautifully done by Jeremy Finley. And we're going to show you on the replay how you use the entire angle of the shutdown area to make sure you don't bust through the out-of-bounds marker. First of all, the run itself in the pit. Finley is looking good. Keeps it nice and straight. Got a little bit of a wobble in the middle, but that's to be expected when you're getting wheel speed as much as 200 miles per hour near the end of the run. Now watch Finley. Once he gets through the pit, goes to the shutdown area, he is really fighting the wheel. You'll see him turn that wheel and cock that baby every which way he can to shut her down in time. He's fighting it, and he stops it by going completely sideways before he would have broke through the DQ tape. And what a run it is. 1.763, second best so far. The S-kicker and Jeremy Finley looking good for the fast four today. The man on the bubble is the man coming out now. Melvin Brown, with his blue max, will try to eliminate his red heat. Now, he won't do it with that run at all. So red heat and Melvin Brown will remain in the fast four, and blue max and Melvin Brown, I think, just disappointed. On the replay, you can really tell he just never got much momentum going. You don't see that real high kick and rooster tail that we've seen off some of the other drivers until he's a little further down the track. And if you're going to get a good run, you got to be spraying mud early. Blue Max shuts it down in plenty of time, but the run is nowhere near good enough to make it into the fast four today on this very quick track in Worcester, Massachusetts. You know, it's a situation on some U.S. Hot Rod Association courses where the runs will be closer to 2 seconds. Everybody's been under 2 seconds today. That shows you just how quick this mud's playing in Massachusetts. Now, the run right there for Blue Max will be 1.935, so that's not going to be good enough to make the fast four. Right now, the fourth best is Melvin Brown's earlier run in his red heat dragster of 1.852. Beef T Blue and Alvin Esch from Intercourse, Pennsylvania hopes to knock red heat out of the fast four. Stops it in time. It's a good run for the Beef T Blue and Alvin Esch. On the replay. Looks like a good start. We don't see any problems in terms of getting cockeyed in the middle of the run. And Alvin Esch has got to be pretty happy with that one right there. Kept it nice and straight. Got a lot of momentum right off the bat. Don't know what else he could have done to make that run any better. Again, off the start line, Beef T Blue keeping it nice and straight right in the middle of the mud pit. And then as he comes to the finish line, gets it stopped down in plenty of time. Now, he needed to get under 1.852 to make it into the fast four, and at least for the moment, he has qualified among the four fastest we've seen so far with a run of 1.819. The only problem, he's now the mudder that's on the bubble because Beef T Blue is fourth fastest, and here comes the young hotshot, the young phenom, Matt Ward, the Mystic Warrior out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Oh, that was a super-looking run, and he shuts it down in time. The big bad Ford power of Mystic Warrior looking fine right here. Well, you know, it's hard to determine the difference when you're talking in literally thousandths of a second, but to the naked eye, there was no doubt that run was a beauty for the Mystic Warrior and Matt Ford, just 18 years old, the youngest mudder on the circuit today, and he is not taking a backseat to any of the more experienced veterans. One more time with the youngster, Matt Ward, and the Mystic Warrior showing him how it's done with a picture-perfect run. And as he hits the finish tape, 1.684 seconds. That is the new fast time today on Super Tracks. Mystic Warrior has the time to beat, and that bumps Beef T Blue out of the Fast Four. David Ray, former U.S. Hot Rod champion in Midnight Magic out of Placetown, New Hampshire. Can he shut it down in time? No, sir. He busts through the tape at the end of the run. You got to stop it within 80 feet. If you hit the tape at the end of the run, you're disqualified, and that's exactly what happened to the Ford of David Ray. He had a good-looking run coming through there as well. But a little bucking bronco action at the end of the run. As we look at it again, in the shutdown area, you'll see the front of the vehicle starts bucking up in the air, and that means you lose the traction you need to bite and stop the vehicle, and that cost him a chance to get it stopped in time. A bad break for Dave Ray, and he's disqualified here at Worcester, Massachusetts today. So still, the fast shot so far is Mystic Warrior at 1.684, and the time to beat to make it into the Fast Four will be the 1.801 of Tony Perotti and Let's Boogie. The Psychotic Beast out of New Hampshire. Here's Mike Spina, ready to do battle. That's not going to get it. He stops it in plenty of time. He'll record an official shot, but I know his time is going to be no better than middle of the pack today among the superstars who are here at the Worcester Centrum. Just never really seemed to get a whole lot of momentum going. Not a lot of wheel speed, and certainly not enough to make our Fast Four, because they are flying here in Worcester today. We'll get one more look now on the replay at the Psychotic Beast and Mike Spina out of Kingston, New Hampshire. And very simply, just did not get a whole lot of momentum, a whole lot of speed at the starting line, and that'll cost you. With this kind of a field and this kind of competition with the U.S. Hot Rod Association, you just can't afford to not have everything going at 100% if you want to make it into the shootout. And indeed, that's what happened there. Spina not quite enough. Really, the run's better than I thought it was going to be at 1.810, but still not enough to make it into the Fast Four. Well, here's a guy you expect to see in the Fast Four about every time out. Three-time world champion Tom Martin and the Super Trooper out of Portage, Indiana. And on the brakes, did he shut it down in time? Yes, he did, just barely in time. The Super Trooper showing you how he uses up all of that shutdown area. Now the question is, was he good enough to make the Fast Four? He had to get it under 1.801 to knock out Let's Boogie. Boy, you can see right there, Tom Martin had to get on the brakes hard and hold on to keep it in the shutdown area, but he did it, and did it well. The best there is, three-time world champion Tom Martin and the Super Trooper coming through with a good run. But is it good enough to make the Fast Four? The answer, no, it is not. He misses it by 1/1000th of a second. 1.802. He had to beat 1.801, and Tom Martin has his day come to a disappointing early end. Mike Camella will be our final first-round competitor in Bonkers out of Mentor, Ohio. Look out, something's burning on Bonkers.
So what happened?
The tranny went away and shot fluid all over and caught on fire.
How's the damage?
Just another tranny where everything's okay.
You gotta love the attitude, Mike Camella. You know, that's part of racing. Hey, just another tranny. We'll go fix it, come back again, or put a new one in, actually, because this one bursts into flame at the end of the run. You can see the smoke starting. Then it's just a matter of seconds before the flames come out. And it's marshmallow time because he has to start roasting them. That's about all he can do with that transmission after this run in Worcester, Massachusetts. Still, he records an official time. Bonkers at 4.80 will finish ahead of those who were disqualified, but certainly he's not anywhere near what it took to make the Fast Four today. We've got it down to our final four, and the shootout's going to be coming up in just a little bit here on Super Tracks. The question will be, can anybody knock off the kid, 18-year-old Matt Ward in Mystic Warrior?
Took her away. You're watching Super Tracks, and because this is the fastest hour on television, we're going to get right back into the action as the mud shootout is all set to begin from the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts. So take it away, Scott Douglas.
Tom, we started the day with 13 of the world's best mud racers, and we have now got the 4 fastest ready to go one more time in the shootout. In the first round, Mystic Warrior was fastest, followed by Mud Patrol, Let's Boogie, and the S-Kicker. But those times all go out, and we start from scratch with those 4. First up, the Mud Patrol.
Well, I think I'm going to line up to the right side. Then we'll go down the right side. I don't think it's a whole lot of ruts on the right side, and it'll be a fresh pass.
Here goes Paul Schaefer in the Mud Patrol. Good-looking run, shuts it down in plenty of time, and the Mud Patrol has posted the time to beat in the U.S. Hot Rod Super Track Shootout. On the replay, as he said he would, Paul went to the far right side to start. He drifts across the lane and actually ends up on the left-hand side as the driver faces the track. I don't think it cost him much time, though. A good-looking run, and it will be 1.815. That's the time to beat. The Mud Patrol has posted it. You're going to look at it one more time as the former Rookie of the Year tries to get a big win here in Worcester. He's giving him something to shoot at with that time of 1.815. Well, next up, Let's Boogie, the 1927 T Roadster, and Tony Ferrotti out of Canton, Michigan.
Yeah, we're just going to make a couple changes on the motor, and hopefully it'll stay up in the RPMs instead of laying down halfway down the track.
Do you think the track is going to hold up for you?
Yeah, I think the track will hold up real well. I don't think it's going to change any more for the last 4 cars than what it already has.
Ready to go with Let's Boogie. He's got a beat, a 1.815. It shuts down in time, so Let's Boogie has officially laid down a shot. We have to wait now and see if it's fast enough to take the lead in our Super Track Shootout. On the replay, nothing wrong with the run. It's another good, solid shot for the Canton, Michigan-based Let's Boogie 1927 T Roadster. But whether it's good enough to take the lead is the only question. One more time as you get a look at Tony Ferrotti's Let's Boogie. Little bit of bobbing on the front end in the middle of the track, and that may have cost him just enough because the time is a bit slow. 1.91 will be the official time, and Tony Ferrotti, at least for the moment, is second. Next up, the S-Kicker and Jeremy Finley out of Boonsville, Virginia.
It's more of a packed surface. You know, it's good for every car instead of just like the first 4.
So normally the track goes away because it's loose, but this one is staying together.
Yeah, most of them just, you know, first couple cars and the track's all gone.
So we can then expect faster times than usual in the shootout? Is that logical?
Yeah, I believe the track got a little faster there at the end. I hope it did.
That's what you call being perfectly honest. He hopes the track's faster because he wants to get the lead. He's got to beat 1.815 to do it. Up, out of bounds at the end of the run. It doesn't matter what his time would have been because in the shootout it's a disqualification for Jeremy Finley and the S-Kicker. Tight shot right here. I can't see what caused him to head out of bounds, but at this point it's too late. Finley's in trouble and he's just trying to shut it down before he tears too much up. I don't think he hurt his vehicle, he just hurt our finish line pole. Again, like Ron Smith way back at the beginning of the show, going out of bounds toward the middle of the track. It's very rare you see that in U.S. Hot Rod competition, but 2 DQs going out of bounds in the middle today. One more in the shootout, 18-year-old Matt Ward and Mystic Warrior.
The track's it's pretty good. The starting line hooks pretty hard, and the stop line's decent. So hopefully the track will stay the same time.
What's your strategy going to be for the shootout? Anything different, or just put it on the floor and go?
Just the same thing I did the last run. Hammer down.
Gotta like that youthful enthusiasm. He knows only one speed, and that's all out. Can he stop it? In time he does. A matter of inches, keeping him from disqualification and maybe taking him to the victory circle. On the replay, the run looks absolutely super for Mystic Warrior and Matt Ward. All we wait now is the time, and could he beat the 1.85 of Paul Schaefer and Mud Patrol? Let's look at it one more time. The big bad Ford power. Matt Ward, the young phenom. And indeed, he has done it. The time he needed to beat 1.815, he smashed it. 1.710. There's your Worcester champion, Matt Ward, and the Mystic Warrior gets the win at the Centrum.
It felt nice and straight, and it felt fast.
This is the second time you run?
Yes, second time. I won the first weekend out, the second run. It's been a while, though.
Remember the name, Matt Ward, a superstar of the future in mud racing. Matter of fact, he's not too bad right now, Tom. Mystic Warrior wins it in Worcester.